Hello and welcome to the Quilter's Apothecary Studio. Today we're going to talk a little bit about Joan's quilt and my process of deciding what I'm going to quilt in her quilt to complete it. So let's get started. So far with this quilt, it's already loaded. I have stabilized the edge of my quilt all the way up within my throat space, over and down. The next thing that I'm going to do, because this quilt is going to be in the high custom realm, at least for our studio we would call it high custom, I am going to go ahead and complete my ditch work. And what I'm going to ditch with this particular quilt is absolutely everything. So the border itself I'm going to ditch. I'm also going to take these sawtooth or half square triangles and I'm going to ditch those. That's going to be the second thing that I ditch. Once I complete the ditch work on the border within this throat space, I'm going to move to the secondary long lines. So when I say secondary long lines on this particular quilt, what I'm talking about are the lines that are going to continue throughout the throat space of the actual quilt itself. So I'm going to complete these, ditch those. We have the border ditched within the throat space. We have the secondary long lines ditched within the throat space. The next area I'm going to move into is going to be this medallion in this large block. And what I'm going to do is just within the throat space go ahead and ditch around it. Now the one thing that I've done, and I do this on quilts that have a lot of on-point piecing such as this one, I have pinned sporadically any area that is not in the ditch just to keep it stable and square as I'm doing the ditch work, so I'm not pushing fullness over to the edge. I'm not doing all of my ditch work on the right freehand side of the machine and moving over, because what that's going to do is create fullness when I get all the way over to the left side of the machine. So I'm going to stabilize the outer portion within the throat space here. The next step for me is moving into the outer blocks here. And then I'm going to add ditch work outside here. I'm going to move into the block and I'm going to do the circle. And then instead of working into the star or the compass itself, I'm going to go ahead and start in the center and ditch the inner star, the next outer star, or the middle star in this case, and then the very outer edge. And for me, I find that that works best if I stabilize the outer portion of the block and then move into the center and work out. Okay, time for a book on tape and get ditching.